Alrighty. So today, it may seem like it's just a one-game series, but this is a game that's being made up earlier. That happened when we visited St. Louis. I want to say like about a month ago. Um, Unfortunately, I just did see the D-backs lineup, and it looks like there was a change. It looks like Ketel Marte is not going to play today. He got scratched from the lineup. I believe I saw a back injury potentially. But looking at Michael McGreevy, who's going to be the starter for St. Louis, he dominated us in his last appearance against us. Looking at his stats, he's 4-7 with a 2.92 ERA. And as I mentioned, when they came to Chase Field this past weekend, he just absolutely dominated us, which I think it was on Friday. Um, he went about 6 innings, only gave up one earned run, one walk, 5 strikeouts. He was just mowing us down the whole game. So I'm hoping it's not he does not have a similar appearance against us today, and that we're able to get to him. Um, I'm definitely gonna be paying attention to that today. And it looks like pretty interesting. Corbin Carroll is gonna be leading off this game for the D-backs. Um, I was kind of talking about it yesterday, as you know, while Corbin Carroll does have the bat to hit in the third spot in the lineup, it definitely I feel like it takes a lot of pressure off of him if he's not in the third spot, and maybe he'll be able to perform more consistently. So, as I mentioned, here comes Corbin Carroll to start off this D-backs offense in the top of the first. Michael McGreevy's underway, and here we go. That's going to be a fastball that misses upstairs. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a curveball that just clipped the outside. Nice pitch from McGreevy right there. One ball, one strike. They count to Carroll. That's going to be popped up to left field. And Newbar's going to run in. Quite a ways to go, but he's able to get there in time for the first out. That's going to be out number one. And looking at this Cardinals lineup, it does look pretty similar to how they were playing um, against us in that series. Looks like Blaze Jordan is going to be in, as we saw in that Sunday game. He absolutely was ripping it against us. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out on him. That's going to bring in Geraldo Perdomo in the second spot. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a cutter that just lands into the top of the zone for strike one. And that sucks that Catel's not in, but let's see what the rest of this lineup can do. It's going to be ball two is high fastball. Sorry, not ball two, ball one. One ball, one strike that count. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a curveball. Misses low and inside. And I'm hoping that the D-backs, they have had discussions about, we did face McGreevy earlier, not too long ago. What can we learn from that game in terms of his arsenal, in terms of his command? What can we do differently this time? And I'm hoping it pays off. Here's a 2-1 pitch, though. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the cutter. As he comes up empty on that swing, it's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes to count to Perdomo. McGreevy starts his wind up. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled down the first baseline. Count remains the same. And Gabriel Moreno waits on deck. Definitely a guy I don't mind being in that third spot, especially after the game he had yesterday. And here's the pitch. Gonna be another foul ball. It's chopped away. And I believe they're talking about putting Perdomo back in the third spot, which I don't agree with that, but we'll see how that works. That's going to be a sinker that misses outside. It's going to be a full count now. And Perdomo having a great at bat, just making McGreevy throw a lot of pitches. And that's going to be a big factor in this appearance for him, just making him work into deep counts. Here's the full count pitch, though. And that's going to miss upstairs and away on the cutter for ball 4, and a great at bat by Perdomo. And that's going to be a runner on first base with just 1 out. And even if we don't get runs across early, just making McGreevy work early in his outing, I think it's going to pay dividends in this game. And Perdomo is getting a big lead at first base. That's going to be a first pitch sinker that just clips the bottom of the zone for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike to Gabriel Moreno, who has just been on fire recently. That's going to be a quick throw to first, and Perdomo gets back safely. But as I was talking about, Moreno has absolutely been the hottest hitter for the D-backs lately. Not only just with his on-base streak, but just slugging the hell out of the ball. And at least today definitely deserves a hit in that third spot. So, and that's going to be an opposite hit field single. That's going to get all the way to right field, and Perdomo's going to round second and head to third. And just like that, runners on the corners with 1 out. A great start for the D-backs offense. As Moreno just slapped that one into right field. It's a great piece of hitting right there. And the D-backs have a chance to score early. Hey, D. Barcel, welcome back, man. Good to see you. I'm hoping the D-backs can win for you today, man. I mean, obviously I want them to win because they're my team, and it's against the Cardinals, who are not far behind us in the wild card race, but especially if you're... Oh my gosh, and Kepler drills it right back to the pitcher. That's going to be a double play. As Kepler hits a dribble ball right back to the pitcher. Not great contact at all. I thought it might be slow enough for Kepler to beat it out at first, but just like that, it's a double play to end the top of the first inning, as the D-backs have a chance to score there, but just come up empty. It's going to be 0-0 going to the bottom of the first. That's unfortunate. I think it was a first pitch swing too, man. If you're going to swing at the first pitch, you got to make it count. Not hit some dribbler back to the pitcher. I am kind of excited, though, that the D-backs are playing on the road today. I think this is my first road game on stream for them. Don't get me wrong, I do love Chase Field, and I love seeing the Arizona Diamondbacks play at home, but it's something about playing on the road, just seeing, you know, the different team stadiums and their city, and, you know, in Busch Stadium, in my opinion, it's a really nice stadium, especially with the arch in the background. Um, yeah, I know it's only for 1 game, and then I think they go to Washington tomorrow. Yeah, D Purcell, should be a competitive game today, I'm hoping. Both teams... I know the Cardinals had a bit of a rough series against the Angels. They did manage to win the last one, the last game in the series yesterday. But I will be honest, Michael McGreevy, he has been a phenomenal pitcher for the Cardinals as of late. On Friday, he had a great start. He went about 6 innings, only giving up 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, only walked 1 batter. So I am hoping that the D-backs kind of learn from that appearance and kind of have different approaches to what they had on Friday. Otherwise, it could be a similar result, unfortunately. But here comes Brandon Pfaadt, the pitcher for the D-backs. He has a 4.58 ERA. He's 4-1 this year. Ever since being called up recently, he's looked a lot better. After fixing some things in AAA, so hopefully he can keep it up today. Me too, man. Me too. He definitely has been better, as I mentioned, since being called up again. As to start this season, he was just atrocious. Just home run ball after home run ball. But yeah, he's definitely looked a lot better recently. And that's going to be a first pitch strike to JJ Weatherholt, as he's going to lead off the bottom of the first for the Cardinals. And that's going to be a chopper to Vargas. It's going to be a very slow, and he's going to underhand it to first, but Weatherholt beats it out. Vargas tried flipping it with the glove, and whenever you do that, it's just going to be a very slow throw to the first baseman. And Weatherholt has decent speed, I believe, and so easily beats that one out, and that's going to be a leadoff single for the Cardinals. Great effort by Vargas, but just not enough speed on that chopper. And just like that, there's going to be a runner on first base. With now Jordan Walker up to the plate. He's batting in the 2-hole today. As pretty surprised about that. Lars Nootbaar is batting cleanup, which I don't really know if that's the best spot for him. And right now, Jordan Walker getting a standing ovation as this is his first time back at Busch Stadium ever since the Home Run Derby. And the fans are just proud of him, and I don't blame them. He did a great job in the Home Run Derby. That's going to be a first pitch swing to center, and that's going to go to right center, actually into the gap. Weatherholt's rounding to second. He's rounding third. They're gonna wave him home, and just like that, Jordan Walker gives the Cardinals a 1-0 lead on the RBI double to right center as it just splits the gap. I thought center fielder Ryan Walshman might get to that ball and knock it down before it gets to the wall, but just a shot off the bat, and he's not able to get there as it goes all the way to the wall. And with that speed, JJ Weatherholt rounds second, rounds third easily, and he's into home. And just like that, it's going to be 1-0 for the Cardinals. Man, Jordan Walker was aggressive. He saw a pitch he liked and did not let it go by. And that's going to bring up Alec Burleson, the power-hitting lefty, who has also been on a tear. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a first pitch strike, 95 miles per hour. And hopefully Fott can recover from that. Especially if a guy like Alec Burleson coming up, you do not want this to get out of your reach early. Looks like a pretty cloudy day in St. Louis today. That's going to be chop foul on the cutter. As all of a sudden, there's a lot of shade in the outfield, so clouds coming in. Burleson down already. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be chopped to Perdomo. Very slow. Oh my gosh, another slow hit. And even with Burleson's speed, not the fastest guy at all, and he still beats it out. As Perdomo was playing a bit out of position on the shift, and with the combination of that and the slow chopper, Burleson also beats this one out. And just like that, it's going to be runners on the corners with still no outs. And just like that, not a great start for Fott and the D-backs so far. That's going to bring up Lars Nootbaar in the cleanup spot. Here's the first pitch. As that curveball is just going to clip the outside of the zone. Nice pitch from him. No ball is 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be an indecisive swing from Nootbaar. And he's not able to hold back on that one. It's going to be 2 strikes. Bot says, here's the 0-2 pitch. That's going to be a changeup outside. That's just a waste pitch right there. Trying to make him chase, but Nootbaar holds back on that one. Just getting a strikeout here just to get out number 1 would just be so huge. Here's the 1-2 pitch, though. That's going to be fouled into the dirt. As Newbar barely gets a piece of that one. Count remains the same. One ball, two strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be an opposite field past the shortstop on the ground ball, and that's going to get another run in. And it's now going to be 2-0. As Perdomo dove for it at shortstop, but it just gets under his glove, not able to get to it. And so far, the Cardinals' offense is just on a tear with just great contact, great at bats, and so far they still have no outs. And this is not looking good for the D-backs in the first inning. And already Kaplan, the pitching coach, is going to come out and talk to Fott, hopefully calm him down a little bit. And you know, it's kind of, I'm not really sure if it's just the Cardinals just hitting the ball just, you know, great, or if Fott's just not putting it in the best location, but not a great look at the pitching coach is already coming out to talk to you. 5 hitters into the ball game, and you have no outs. That's going to bring up Mason Wynn, batting 240 on the year. Has a chance to do some more damage and just keep this inning going. And if you're Mason Wynn, you just want to at least move these runners over. Here's the first pitch. He's first pitch swinging. He's going to send that one to center field. That's going all the way to the warning track. And Walt Schmidt is going to make this, is going to catch that one for the first out. And both runners are actually going to advance. As there's now runners on second and third with 1 out now. And as I mentioned, if you're Mason Wynn, you just want to move those runners over, and he does his job right there. As that was great contact. Goes all the way to the warning track. Walt Schmidt able to track it down, but both runners move up, unfortunately. And that's going to be a first pitch ball for Fott as a sweeper misses well outside. Here comes Jose Fermin, who is playing at third base today. 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a big swing and miss. Another sweeper that's outside. A much better location than the first one. That's going to be strike 1. It's going to be Fermin, and it looks like Nathan Church is on deck after him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be inside for ball 2. And so far, the Cardinals have just been very aggressive. Fought only at 15 pitches, and you would think he'd be at more, but the Cardinals just not letting good pitches go by. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's going to be upstairs inside for ball 3 on the sinker. And Fermin is 1 ball away from loading up the bases with 1 out. Spot sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be upstairs and in on the fastball. And it's now going to be bases loaded with 1 out. As Brandon Fott is having absolutely probably the worst start since he's been called up recently. Just not looking sharp today. Not getting the outs when he's needed to. And here comes Nathan Church, the center fielder with the bases loaded, with a chance to do some real damage and break this game wide open. He's batting .228 on the year. And here's the first pitch. That's going to be a sinker that's outside for ball 1. As Fott's just losing composure, cannot find the zone right now. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a curveball. Church is able to foul that one off his foot. Strike one. And if you're Brandon Pfaadt, you just need a double play ball right here just to limit the damage. Strikeout would be nice just for, out number 2 as well. As this is going to be the 20th pitch of the first inning. It's going to be Nathan Church and Blaze Jordan on deck. That's going to be in the dirt on the changeup. Great stop by Moreno. Ball 2. Two balls, one strike. Big at bat right here. Here's the pitch. That's going to be foul to the left. As that's going to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And as I mentioned, Blaze Jordan waiting on deck, and he was just a D-backs killer on that game on Sunday, just hitting the ball hard, so hoping that we can at least get it out here. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a big strike 3. Swings and misses on the outside changeup, and that's a big out number 2 right there. As Brandon Pfaadt really needed that. Great movement on the changeup. And hopefully that gives Pfaadt some confidence to take on the next batter and just get out of this inning with a 2-0 lead for the Cardinals. And that's going to bring up Blaze Jordan, as I mentioned. He's starting at first base today. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a sweeper. Questionable strike call is well outside, but Blaze Jordan's not going to challenge that. It's going to be strike 1. Yes, sir, D. Purcell. Hopefully that creates some momentum. It's going to be no balls and 1 strike. And that's going to be popped up out of play. Tom Moreno might have a play at it, but well out of play. It's not going to be no balls and 2 strikes, though. So a great opportunity for Brandon Pfaadt to get out of this inning. And if you're Pfaadt, you just don't want to give him anything good right here. You're up 2 strikes. Just waste 1. Here's the pitch, though. That's going to be a sweeper. It just clips the outside. He's going to take that to right field. And Corbin Carroll, shielding his eyes from the sun, just gets under for the catch. And that's going to be the 3rd out as Brandon Pfaadt gets out of it. With the Cardinals only leading 2-0. Could have been a lot worse with the bases loaded, but gets 2 straight big outs. And just like that, we're going to the top of the second with the Cardinals up 2-0. And it does suck that we're down 2-0 just like that, but I will be honest, that could have been a lot worse. With the way the Cardinals were hitting with those first 5 batters, the way Pfaadt recovered there was huge, so I'm hoping now the D-backs offense can just back him up and give him some more confidence to pitch the rest of this game, but we'll see. I believe it's going to be, yes, Adrian Del Castillo, Tim Tawa, and Eldemaro Vargas. I finally said Eldemaro Vargas' name right, so that's awesome. But they're going to lead off the top of the second. But yeah, the D-backs offense, not even just to take the lead and, that's what you need to win this game, but just to give Brandon Pfaadt some confidence that the offense has his back. And that, maybe that calms down his nerves a little bit. He pitches with more confidence, but we'll see. Pfaadt did throw around 20 pitches, so hopefully he can get some quick innings later on. As I mentioned, though, it is going to be tough against Michael McGreevy. He did give up runners on the corners on the first, so hopefully the D-backs can kind of build off that and say, hey, we're definitely capable of getting runners on base. We just got to get them across, not strand them. But that's going to bring up Adrian Del Castillo. He's the designated hitter today for the D-backs. Who, when he makes great contact, he can drive the ball, so hopefully he can get a good one here. He's going to be ahead 1-0 in the count, though, after that first pitch. Here's the next one. That's going to be a cutter that misses upstairs for ball 2. That's going to be a cutter that just lands at the top of the zone. Nice pitch from McGreevy right there. It's going to be strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that's going to be a great take from Adrian Del Castillo right there. Tough curveball to lay off. Just misses the outside part of the zone. I mean, it was outside, but just misclipping it. And that's going to be ball 3. As now ADC is going to foul that one off. It's going to be 3 balls and 2 strikes, full count. And if Del Castillo can get on right here, it's going to be a great at-bat for him. Another great one for this D-backs offense. Here comes McGreevy, though. And that's going to be an excellent pitch. The changeup just drops right into the zone. And ADC is not able to pull the trigger. And that's going to be out number 1 on the strikeout. Just a great pitch. As it freezes Adrian Del Castillo. That's going to bring up Tim Tawa. Nice at bat from Del Castillo to make him work, but still a strikeout. Here's the first pitch to Tawa. That sweeper just clips the lower corner of the zone. Outside and away. Another nice pitch from McGreevy. That's going to be a check swing on the fastball. And the umpire says he went. Don't even look down the first. That's going to be the second strike. Come on, Tawa. I got to get at least a good at-bat here. McGreevy's in his windup. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be chopped to third base for Mean fields it cleanly. That's going to be a long throw. A one-hopper for Blaze Jordan, but a great pick by him. A very weak throw from the third baseman, but with a nice pick from Blaze Jordan at first base, it does not matter. That's going to be the second out of the inning. And now here comes Eldemaro Vargas with 2 outs in the top of the second. Here's the first pitch. And that's going to be four-seam fastball. It just misses the inside part of the zone. Thought I may have clipped it, but umpire says no, it's going to be ball 1. And Vargas just had a great game yesterday. 3 for 4, I believe. As he was just mashing the ball. It's going to be a strike. It lands in there. It's going to be a cutter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And Vargas fouls that one. Out of play. And McGreevy with a chance to make this a quick inning. It's looked a lot better than that first one. Had the strikeout. Had the weak ground ball to third. Here's the next pitch to Vargas. That's going to be a high fastball. Vargas able to hold back. It's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Counts even at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Ooh, Vargas going to foul that one off his leg, I believe. Gonna have to walk that one off. I think it kind of hit his thigh, though, so at least there was a bit more meat on the bones and not anywhere near the kneecap or lower than the kneecap. And once again, it's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes to Vargas. McGreevy starts his windup. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a chopper. Very slow ground ball, but it's just going to get fouled down the first base line. Vargas was hustling the first as he thought it was going to stay fair, but by the time Blaze Jordan got to it, it was definitely a foul ball. And the count remains the same. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jordan Walker rocking the chains. I don't know if he usually rocks that many chains, but he is blinging out there in right field. Counting at least 5, I think. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes, so here's the pitch. And that's going to be a chopper to second base this time. JJ Weatherholt fields that cleanly. Easy throw to first, and that's going to be out number 3. As the D-backs offense, not as effective in that inning. Not able to get a lot going. And just like that, we're going to go to the bottom of the second inning. Cardinals still up 2-0. And I believe that's going to bring up Gordon Crooks and then the top of the Cardinals lineup. Looking around the league, though, let's see what's going on. I'm not sure if there's any games going on right now. The D-backs are playing at kind of a weird time, so I'm not sure there's much games going on. Oh, that's right. The Braves played super early in the morning. Looks like they were able to beat the Padres 6-5. The Twins and Guardians played earlier. The Twins won in extra innings that went to the 12th. Wow. Blue Jays beat the Rays. Yeah, the Padres and Braves game, another close one. I saw the game yesterday, or saw the box score. As the Padres scored like, I want to say 5 straight runs in the 9th or something like that. As it got really close, but the Braves were able to hold them off. This time the Braves were pretty much in front from the get-go. Well, no, actually not from the get-go. Padres were up 3-1 early, and then after a 4-run 4th inning, Braves were able to capitalize. Here's the first pitch to Crooks. He's going to pop that one up, and it's going to get to Perdomo near center field, and that's going to be the first out for the Cardinals. Great recovery for Brandon Pfaadt after a rough last inning just to get a first pitch. 1 out on the first pitch swing. And just like that, the top of the lineup comes up for St. Louis as the first 5 hitters in the first inning were just dominant, very aggressive, swinging at great pitches. And hopefully Pfaadt's able to do a lot better this time. That's going to be a first pitch strike on the fastball. As Weatherholt started the game with a single in the first. That changeup's going to miss low for ball 1. One ball, 1 strike to Weatherholt. That's going to be a check swing on the cutter, but doesn't matter as the cutter just lands at the top of the zone for strike 2. Pfaadt's ahead, 1 ball, 2 strike. He starts his windup for the next pitch. Here we go. And that's going to be a great curveball, but Weatherholt not able to bite on it. And that's going to be ball 2 to even the count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be chopped slowly to second base Vargas, but he's going to field that cleanly and throw on the first, and that's going to be out number 2. As Pfaadt is 1 out away from making this a quick inning. but definitely has a challenge coming to with Jordan Walker, who was first pitch swinging in the first inning, hit a shot to right center into the gap for an RBI double to give the Cardinals a quick lead. Here's the first pitch to Walker. He's also going to be first pitch swinging again, but this time just going to actually that might be in play, and it was in play. But the first baseman Tyler Locklear just not able to get to it in time. He tried sliding for it, but just out of his reach. As that was a pretty high fastball to swing at, but Jordan Walker does not care. Very aggressive still. And it's going to be 0-1 the count. Here's the next pitch from Fott. That's a great pitch, but he's going to ground that to Perdomo. Great sliding down. Oh. And they do get him at first. Okay. I thought Walker may have beat that out. A nice sliding snag by Perdomo. Kind of stumbled as he tried to get up, but a great throw still beats Walker at first base. That's going to be out number 3. And Brandon fought with a much better inning than the first. Definitely needed that out of him. And just like that, we're going to go to the top of the 3rd inning with the Cardinals still leading 2-0. Not to mention, that was a great pick by Tyler Locklear at first. I didn't mention that. Hopefully the D-backs offense can pick it up. It's going to be, I believe, yes. Tyler Locklear, Ryan Walshman, who did have his first career home run yesterday, so hopefully he can keep that up. Had a great game as well. And then we're going to go back to the top of the lineup with Corbin Carroll. Give me 1 second. All right. By the way, Deeper, so I still have not gotten a chance to check out the Braves Country Radio, but that's definitely still on my to-do list. So I'll let you know when I get to that. And here comes Locklear to lead this one off, as I mentioned. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the inside sinker, I believe. Maybe strike 1. And Locklear, I would like him to look a bit better ever since being called up. That's going to be a nice drive to left center as soon as I say that. And that's going to be a gapper all the way to the wall. All right, Locklear, I'll shut my mouth, my friend. That was a great drive. As that was a tough sweeper to hit. And he's still able to drive that one to left center. Not the greatest exit velocity, still kind of a blooper, but still manages to get that all the way to the wall. And just like that, the D-backs have a runner on second base with no outs. A great start to this top of the 3rd. Yes, sir. Other than that, I think I've just seen him like hit a single or two. I think he's 2 for 8 since being called up, and just the way he was mashing in AAA. There's been a lot of hype around that, and a lot of people have been wanting to see him replicate those same numbers. So that's probably the best thing I've seen from him so far, so I'm all for that. Here comes Ryan Walshmith, though. But his first career Major League home run, as I mentioned yesterday. Great day at the plate. He's going to try laying down a bunt as... Whew, kind of scary. He popped that one up. Luckily, the catcher was not able to make a play on that. But quickly, he's going to be down 0-2. And just like that, Waldschmidt is going to have to protect here. Swing at anything close. No balls, 2 strikes. McGreevy sets. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be strike 3. Fouls that one right into the glove of the catcher on the changeup, and that's going to be a quick out, number 1. Not the best at bat there. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about bunting with a runner on second. I I still don't kind of agree with that. I don't like how the D-backs do that, you know, especially a Ryan Waldschmidt who had an amazing game yesterday. It's just like how I think I talked about it the other day, you know. Even if you're going to be swinging away on 0-2, now you just get one chance to hopefully get a great hit out of that, you know. But Corbin Carroll's going to come up to bat with 1 out. He's going to be ahead 1-0. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a cutter up and in. Tough pitch to lay off, but Carroll manages to do that. It's going to be 2 balls and no strikes to Corbin. Let's see if McGreevy goes at him. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a great strike on the changeup. Just clips the lower part of the zone. As Corbin Carroll's not able to swing at that for strike 1. Yeah, I understand if the hitter's not hot or like that's gonna be surprising second strike. I thought it was just above the zone, but it's gonna be called strike. Corbin Carroll does not challenge. And again, like it's your 9th hitter in Waldschmidt, but he had such an excellent game yesterday. I thought they might want to try to build off that momentum. As McGreevy's gonna step off the mound here. Like the other day, they had Tim Tawa doing it, and he was batting in the 3rd spot, and I don't know. I guess if it works, it doesn't matter, but that's going to be a great pitch from McGreevy. The sinker lands just on the inside part of the zone, and Corbin Carroll cannot take a hack at that. That's going to be out number 2 on the strikeout. That was just a great pitch from McGreevy as it fools Corbin. And now the D-backs have one more chance to try to get that runner in scoring position home. As here comes Perdomo. He walked in his first at bat. Here's the first pitch. And that fastball is just gonna miss the inside upper portion. Another great pitch, but just misses, I guess. As McGreevy has just had a great location. McGreevy sets. Here's the pitch. And that's gonna be a curveball. Misses outside for ball 2. As McGreevy 1 out. 1 out away from straining that runner at second. Not the best speed with Locklear at second, so hopefully if there is a hit, it's kind of in the gap, but we'll see. Here's the pitch. And that time, that cutter is going to be on the inside portion of the zone. Just gets inside for strike 1. And they're going to throw to second. And no one's covering it. Ooh. It ricocheted off Mason Wynn as he was nowhere near second base to catch that ball from Jordan Crooks as he tries to backpicks him. It looked like the ball might have went into center field for a second, but Wynn able to recover that quickly, and Locklear has to stay at second. And I got scared. I thought Locklear was going to break for third, as he would have definitely got thrown out at third. But it's going to be 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to miss inside for back-to-back walks for Perdomo. Great start for him this game. Now going to be runners on first and second with 2 outs for Gabriel Moreno in the 3rd spot. A great opportunity right here. As Gabriel Moreno working with a 20 on-base streak right now, which is the highest active one in the league right now. And that's going to be a first pitch strike on the changeup. Just clips the bottom of the zone. And if you want anybody to play right now to try to get this run in, it's definitely Gabriel Moreno. So hopefully he can come through here. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be a sweeper. Misses outside for ball one. And McGreevy's going to step off once again. And yes, the D-backs aren't making McGreevy work, getting runners on base. But at some point, it doesn't matter. You know, you need to get these runs across. It doesn't matter about the pitch count, you know, getting up. And that's going to be a sweeper. Moreno's able to hold off on that one for a ball two. Nice take right there. As that sweeper has just been pretty filthy today. Two balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a grounder to the JJ Weatherhold at second. An easy play for him. Throws a first, and that's going to be out number 3 as the D-backs cannot get the runner at second to score. As we're now going to go to the bottom of the third. Cardinals still leading 2-0. Another chance for the D-backs, and they just come up empty. And I believe it's going to bring up Alec Burleson, Newt Barr, and Mason Wynn for the Cardinals. Wow, that's pretty cool. They're doing a story right now. And James McCain's sons, I guess he has twin sons, and they're at the game today, and they just completed the 30 for 30 challenge for attending a game at every MLB stadium. And right now they're showing their sign. They're holding it up right now. And obviously, you know, your dad being a Major League Baseball player definitely makes the journey a lot easier to attend all 30 stadiums, but nonetheless, what a great bucket list achievement for the boys. Um, Definitely a dream for a lot of men who are baseball fans. That's going to be a drive to center field. It's going to get over Waldschmidt's head and over the wall for a ground rule double. And just like that, the Cardinals have another early chance of getting runs in this inning, as it's going to be a runner on second with no outs. Personally, for me, I've only been to 2 stadiums, so I'm nowhere near 30. So I've only been to obviously the Diamondbacks, Chase Field, and I've only been to Petco Park, San Diego. But here comes Lars Nootbaar for runner on second. And that's going to be a first pitch swing to first base. Nice snag by Locklear. He's going to underhand that to Fott, and that's going to be out number 1. The Cardinals do move the runner over. Now it's going to be a runner on third base, so 1 out. And just like that, here comes Mason Wynn. That's going to be a curveball. And misses for ball 1. Gonna be a sweeper. Misses for ball 2. Here's the next pitch. That's gonna be somehow called it a ball. Moreno's gonna challenge that. That looked like it was definitely strike 1, but and that's gonna just clip the inside portion of the zone against Mason Wynn. That's gonna be strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nice challenge by Moreno. Fa just looking to strain the runner at third. Here's another pitch. That's going to be a sweeper. Mason Wynn does not bite, and that's going to be ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Jose Fermin's going to be awaiting on deck. He had a base on balls earlier. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That's going to be foul to the right out of play for ball 2 to make, or sorry, strike 2 to make it a full count. And Mason Wynn is not going to swing at that changeup low and away, and that's going to be ball 4. Just like that, runners on the corners. Still 1 out. As Fa is just not having efficient pitches against his Cardinals lineup. Not having the best location, not throwing strikes, just definitely not looking like the first 2 starts he's had since being called up again. That's going to be a quick pick to first. Mason Wynn gets back. As I mentioned, it's going to bring up Jose Fermin, third baseman, 1 out, runners on the corners. And here's the first pitch. Gonna be a cutter. This is low and away for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Gonna be a nice sinker. Lays that in there for strike 1. Looking to get a double play ball right here. That'd be amazing. Here's the next pitch. That's going to be in there for strike 2 on the fastball. Great location. Here's a big pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Fermin. That's going to be a sweeper. Misses low and away. Ball 2. And Nathan Church, who's 0 for 1 so far, he awaits on deck. Can't see even. Here's the pitch. That's going to be driven to right. Just going to get out of play, though. It hits the net. Count remains the same. Two balls, two strikes, and a quick pick to first once again. Mason Wentz able to get back. Two balls, two strikes. That's going to be popped up. And Vargas is going to try to get under it. Corbin Carroll's going to call him off, and that's going to be out number two. Obviously, Burleson's going to be held up as Corbin Carroll is almost in the infield on that play. And that's going to be a very big out number two for Brandon Pfaadt, as runners are still on the corners, but one out away from straining those runners and getting out of this inning unscathed. And here comes Nathan Church. As I mentioned, 0 for 1 in that first at bat. Here's the first pitch to Church. First pitch swinging, he fouls that one off. Out of play. It's going to be ball one. Or sorry, strike one. Oh, 1 pitch. Pfaadt set. He delivers. That's going to be a changeup that's outside. It's going to be 1 ball, 1 strike. And Pfaadt just hit the 50 pitch mark. As if you can't get out of here with a quick inning, the future innings are not quick. Not sure how long he's going to be able to go. One ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be popped up. And Moreno's going to be able to get to it. And he's going to get under that for the third out. Is a great job by Brandon Pfaadt to get out of that jam. As runners on the corners, but able to get out of it unscathed. And it's still going to remain a 2-0 lead for the St. Louis Cardinals as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Great job by Brandon Pfaadt there. As I'm hoping that gives him a bit of confidence going into the rest of this game. As other than that first inning, he's looked pretty solid. So I know he's got into some trouble, but other than the first, he's been able to get out of it and has definitely looked a lot better. And actually, there's like no games going on today. Other than this game, and then the Royals and Tigers starting in about 25 minutes. There's no other games after those. So, not a lot of ball being played today. But it's going to bring out Max Kepler in the top of the 4th inning. had that unfortunate dribbler right back to the pitcher for the double play in his first at bat. So hopefully he can get better contact going here, as he's been hot recently. Here's the first pitch to Kepler. That's going to be a fastball. This is up and away for ball one. Here's the next pitch. Great take by Kepler on the cutter for ball two. That was up. And that cutter is going to drop on the top of the zone this time for strike one. Two balls, one strike to Kepler. Here's the pitch. Nice take by him for ball three on the fastball that was outside. And D-backs giving themselves good opportunities to get on base. It's just about getting them across, get some runs in. And Kepler is going to call time. Three balls, one strike to Kepler to see if he can get on right here. McGreevy starts his windup. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside for ball four on the changeup that was outside. Great job by Max Kepler. Much better at bat than the first one. And just like that, runner on first base with no outs. As so far, the D-backs are doing a lot better job of getting to McGreevy this game in terms of the one on Friday this past weekend. And here comes Adrian Del Castillo, who struck out looking in the first at bat. And McGreevy just kind of struggling location-wise. That curveball is just nowhere near the zone. Ball one. And I know you don't mind if your curveball misses the zone, as it's not supposed to be the greatest pitch to hit, but that was well outside, nowhere near the zone. And McGreevy even showed some frustration after that first pitch. But this time the changeup is going to hit the inside lower part of the zone for strike one. One ball, one strike. McGreevy sets. That's going to be a quick pick to first. And Kepler just gets back, as that was a great move by McGreevy. Once again, one ball, one strike to ADC. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a rip to right field. Please stay fair. And that's going to be off the wall. And Kepler's going to stop at third base. And ADC is going to get to second base safely. There's going to be runners on second and third with no outs. Is that just missed being a two-run shot to tie the game? Just hits the top of the wall. But nonetheless, what a great drive by Adrian Del Castillo on the extra base hit. And just like that, McGreevy is in trouble with no outs, runners on second and third. And that's going to bring up Tim Tawa, as that was hot off the bat. And here's the first pitch to Tim Tawa. That's going to be a first pitch strike on the lower part of the zone. Just clips it. Tim Tawa's 0 for 1 so far. Had a ground out in the second inning. That's going to be in the dirt on the changeup. One ball, one strike. And before this, the D-backs had runners on the corners in the first inning, but this is a much better shot right here. Runners on second and third with no outs. Got to get at least a run here. No excuse. Here's the next pitch. And Tim Tawa is going to send one to center. That's going pretty deep. Church is going to get under. He's going to try throwing home. Actually, he's going to throw to third. And just like that, ADC is going to get in the third. Kepler is going to get home very easily. No chance of getting thrown at home. And just like that, it's going to be a 1-2 ball game as the D-backs get a run back. Great contact by Tim Tawa just to drive that to center. Didn't quite get to the warning track, but still deep enough. to where there was no chance a play at home was going to be happen. And you love to see ADC get into third base as well. Not the best speed, but now's a chance to score from third. And here comes Eldemaro Vargas, the second baseman. He's going to take a strike on the fastball. Little inside. Sorry. Yes, there is a runner on third. Here we go. Oh my gosh. And the D-back scored. My bad. There we go. Okay. Forgot to update two important parts of the scoreboard. And it's now going to be a 1 ball, 1 strike count. And the D-backs have a big chance to tie it up 2-2. Let's see if Vargas can come through here. 1 ball, 1 strike. McGreevy sets. Here's the pitch. That's gonna miss. That's gonna miss well inside. Ball 2. As McGreevy's now at 63 pitches, so D-backs doing a lot better job this game, especially in this inning, just making him work. And they're taking advantage of runners on base in the top of the fourth. Let's see if they can do it again. Vargas is ahead 2-1. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a chopper. Foul down the first base line for strike 2. And it's going to be Tyler Locklear on deck, who had a great double in his first at-bat. So another nice chance if Vargas can't get on base or get a hit here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a chopper to the first baseman, Burleson. I'm sorry, not Burleson. To Blaze Jordan. He's at first today. And no shot with Adrian De La Castillo trying to go home as he has to remain at third base. It was a slow chopper, but didn't get that deep into the infield to where there was no shot at ADC going home. It would not have been a good play for him. And just like that, it's going to be 2 outs with still a runner at third base. But here comes Tyler Locklear, as I mentioned. Had that great double in his first at-bat, looking to replicate the same or just at least get a base knock. And here's the first pitch to Tyler Locklear. McGreevy sets. Here we go. That's going to be a sinker that misses well low for ball 1. And McGreevy is approaching 70 pitches, so great job by the D-backs. My hand is sweating. 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be a shot to left. Please stay fair. And that's going to be a 2-run shot. And the D-backs take the lead. I thought that might go foul for a second. And Tyler Locklear hits his first home run of the season. 364 feet as it just gets over the left field wall. And Tyler Locklear is killing St. Louis today. He is 2 for 2. Had a great double in his first at bat. Has a nice 2-run shot right there. And he is seeing the ball well today and doing damage. And that was a rip right off the bat. Love to see that for him. As he's finally doing some damage ever since being called up, replicating those AAA numbers. And just like that, the Diamondbacks have a 3-2 lead in the top of the 4th inning. That was a shot. And that's going to bring up Waldschmidt. And he's going to first pitch swing. And unfortunately, Nathan Church is going to get under that. And that's going to end the top of the 4th inning. But Tyler Locklear is carrying the D-backs on his shoulders today offensively. As the D-backs are finally able to do some damage to runners on base. And just like that, the D-backs have a 3-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th. And like I said, hopefully that gives Brandon Pfaadt some confidence that the offense has his back in McGreevy. I don't know what happened ever since that game on Friday, but the D-backs have definitely been hitting the ball a lot better today than they were in that first game of the series at Chase Field this past weekend. That was a shot off the bat from Locklear. I thought it might trickle foul just by a hair, but I didn't expect it to go over the wall. I thought for sure it was gonna get to the warning track and maybe go off the wall, but that was a laser off the bat. Here comes Blaze Jordan to start the bottom of the fourth for St. Louis. That's going to be a first pitch strike on the fastball. Nice pitch that clips the outside of the zone. That's going to be a swing and miss on the sweepers. Fought is ahead 0-2 early. And that's going to be a chopper to shortstop. Perdomo fields that cleanly, throws a strike to first, and that's going to be out number 1. Nice job by Fod early. That's going to bring up Jordan Crooks, who was very aggressive in that at first at bat of his. Flew out to center, I believe. And this time he's going to lay out the first pitch. It's going to be a cutter up and away for ball 1. I'm sorry, not Jordan Crooks, Jimmy Crooks. That's the second time I said Jordan. My bad, Jimmy. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be foul down the first baseline for strike 1. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch. It's going to miss outside on the curveball, ball 2. Two balls, one strike. That's going to be a big swing and a miss on the changeup. Fairly well pitched to hit right there, but you're not get a piece of that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And on deck is JJ Weatherholt to get the top of the lineup going. Counts even. Here's the pitch. That's going to be another foul ball down the line. Count remains the same. Ooh, nice pitch by Fott, but just misses the lower outside corner of the zone. That's going to be a full count now. Big pitch right here coming up from Fott. He goes into his windup. Here's the pitch. That's going to be foul to the backstop. Once again, full count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a strong ground ball to second. As somehow Vargas is not able to corral that, gets past him and into the outfield. That's going to be a 1-out base hit for Jordan Jimmy Crooks. Oh my gosh. Runner on first base, yes. And as I mentioned, that's going to bring the top of the lineup up. JJ Weatherholt, who's 1 for 2 so far in this game. And Frog just looking to get these next 2 guys out or getting deeper in this lineup. And it's going to be a first pitch curveball. That's outside for ball 1. Especially with Jordan Walker on deck. Definitely do not want to let Weatherholt. You do not want him to get on base right here. And that fastball is just going to miss outside and away. Bit off the zone. And that's going to be ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball right to Perdomo. He steps on the bag himself, throws the first for a great double play. And just like that, Brandon Pfaadt's going to get out of this inning before having to face Jordan Walker. And just like that, we're going to go to the top of the 5th with the Diamondbacks leading this game 3-2. Nice bounce back after that single by Jimmy Crooks. As Brandon Pfaadt has definitely calmed down a bit and has looked a lot sharper than that first inning. And I believe that is going to bring up the top of the lineup for the D-backs. So we're going to have Corbin Carroll, Perdomo, and Gabriel Moreno. It is going to be interesting to see how much longer McGreevy goes in this ball game, especially if the D-backs can have another inning like the last one. As I mentioned, I believe he's already at 70 pitches, so definitely getting up there. And as I mentioned, that's going to bring up Corbin Carroll to start the top of the 5th. That's going to be a first pitch ball as the cutter's well high. And my apologies, McGreevy is not quite at 70 pitches yet, but he's 1 pitch away. Fairly close, though. And that's going to be a drive to right center. Walker's going back, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. And Corbin Carroll's rounding second base. He's going to go for a triple. And just like that, Corbin Carroll leads off the top of the 5th of a triple. Doing what he does best. And the D-backs are hot in the past 2 innings. I thought for a chance that might get out of here for a second for a solo shot, but hits it to the deepest part of the ballpark. And nonetheless, D-backs have another great chance to get some more runs here. Easy triple for Corbin Carroll. And that is the 55th triple, which apparently ties in for the most in amongst active leaders. That's going to be a first pitch ball to Perdomo. And Perdomo's going to pop that one up, unfortunately. Here comes Newpar. He's running in, and he's going to grab that one. And Carroll, even with that speed, is not going to challenge that throw. Gets away from the catcher a little bit, but Newbar was just way too into challenge that, not worth the risk. And Corbin's going to remain at third base, so 1 out. And just like that, it's going to bring up Gabriel Moreno. He is 1 for 2. Already's extended his on-base streak, just looking to get another run in, which I would be a big fan of that. And that's going to be a curveball that misses in for ball 1. And as I mentioned, Gabriel Moreno, 1 for 2, had a single in the first inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a fly ball to left. This one's going to be a lot deeper this time than the last one. And that's absolutely going to bring in Corbin Carroll. He's charging home. And that's going to be a 4-2 lead for the Diamondbacks. A great at-bat right there from Moreno. Just looking to get the run in. And with Corbin Carroll's speed, you absolutely do not need to hit it that deep. But that was just deep enough. And Gabriel Moreno gets the job done. 4-2 D-backs. That's going to bring up Max Kepler in the cleanup spot. Here's the first pitch. He's going to be first pitch swinging. Fouls that one off to the left. Max Kepler 0 for 1. He walked in the 4th inning. That's going to be a fastball. Misses upstairs for ball 1. 1-1 the count. One ball, 1 strike. That's going to be a fly ball to right. Looks like he just got a bit underneath that one. And that's going to be out number 3 as Jordan Walker catches that one. And just like that, with the sacrifice fly from Gabriel Moreno, thanks to the Corbin Carroll triple, the Diamondbacks are now leading this game 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. A great surge from the D-backs offense in these past 2 innings. All right, I believe for the Cardinals, we now have I believe we're going to have Jordan Walker, Alec Burleson, and Lars Newpark coming up. So a lot of power hitting coming up. So definitely thankful we have a 2-run lead now. And I do want to confirm how big this game is in terms of the standings. So it looks like right now the Arizona Diamondbacks do actually hold the 3rd spot in the wild card. They have it right now, but the Cardinals are half a game back from us. Half a game back. So this is, even if it's just 1 game, this game is very important for both teams. So I was definitely excited to call this one. Glad it's been a close one so far, no matter who's winning. But yeah, very very important game for both teams today. As I mentioned, that's going to bring up Jordan Walker to start the bottom of the 5th inning. He's going to take a ball low. He's 1 for 2. Head of that RBI double in the 1st. That's going to be a chopper to third base. And that's going to be fired across first. A great play by Tim Tao. I keep forgetting he's at third base. Had to look over. Um, but a great throw from Tawa. Nice strike for him to get out number one. And just like that's going to be a quick out for Brandon Pfaadt. I'll give an update on the pitch count, but he's looked so much better. He's at 67 pitches, so it is getting up there, but he is just right there with McGreevy. And that's going to be a first pitch swing from Alec Burleson. He's going to pop that one up the first base in foul territory. Locklear's going to catch that, and just like that, that's the second out of the bottom of the fifth. And as I mentioned, I was a little bit fearful of Walker and Burleson to start this bottom of the fifth, but a great start for Brandon Pfaadt. It's going to be a quick 2 outs. It's now going to be Lars Nootbaar in the cleanup spot. And Lars Nootbaar, he is 1 for 2. RBI single in the first inning. And Pfaadt with an opportunity to make this a very quick inning. That's going to be a first pitch strike on the fastball. And that curveball is going to miss low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's going to be a fly ball to left field. And Kepler's going to get under that easily. And just like that, 1, 2, 3 for Brandon Pfaadt, as he has just been on a roll ever since that first inning. And just like that, very quickly, we go to the top of the 6th inning. The D-backs up 4-2. As Brandon Pfaadt has just had an amazing recovery ever since that first inning. And love to see that for him, as you know, when he unravels, one of his biggest issues is that when he unravels, he's not able to recover and just gives up run after run. And so, great job by him today to not let the Cardinals score any more runs after that first inning. And for the D-backs, I believe that's going to bring up Adrian Del Castillo, Tim Tawa, and Ildemaro Vargas. And looking at the hits for each team, D-backs at 5 hits. Cardinals have 6 hits. And as I mentioned, here comes ADC to lead off the top of the 6th. He's going to take a fastball upstairs for ball 1. And McGreevy approaching 80 pitches. This is going to be the 79th pitch of the ball game, so I'm interested to see how much longer he goes. That's going to be a strike. Just clips the top of the zone. It's going to be 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's a nice curveball. Just clips the outside of the zone. Tough pitch for Castillo to take a hack at there. That's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes to him. McGreevy starts his windup. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball. Jordan with a nice snag as he dives for that one. Underhands it to McGreevy. And that's going to be the first out of the top of the 6th. Nice job by Blaze Jordan there. Also, nice job by McGreevy to hustle over to first base. That's going to bring up Tim Tawa, who had a nice sacrifice fly in the 4th inning. Here's the first pitch to him. That's going to be a cutter, misses outside. And sinker, looks like it missed low, but I'm just going to call that a strike for a 1 ball, 1 strike count now. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be a sweeper. It's low and away for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike. It's going to be a ground ball. It's just going to get past that diving Mason to win into left field. Great hit by there for Tawa. That's going to be a runner on first with 1 out. I would like to think this may be McGreevy's last inning, approaching 90 pitches now. Here comes Eldemaro Vargas. He's 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Especially the D-backs get at least 1 more hit in this inning, or at least 1 more runner on base. That's going to be a first pitch swing. Gets all the way to right field past the second baseman. And just like that, as soon as I say that, runners on first and second with 1 out. As that was a shot off the bat into right field. And of course, that's going to bring up Tyler Locklear with runners on first and second and 1 out, as he just had that amazing home run that just stayed fair. That was just a laser off the bat. As he is making his presence known today in today's game. And that's going to be a first pitch sinker that just clips the outside of the zone for strike 1. And now Locklear has a chance to do even more damage at the plate, driving even more runs. As an extra base hit would just be great right now. Another pitch that's going to clip the outside of the zone. Great location so far for McGreevy in this at bat. It's going to be no balls, 2 strikes. As Locklear is down early in this at bat. 0-2 to count. McGreevy sets. Here's the pitch. And actually, McGreevy is going to step off and look Tim Tawa back to second base. Trying to keep him close there. Now, Tim Tawa does not have the best speed, so I think it is going to take a gapper to get him home from second, but here's the 0-2 pitch. That's going to be fouled down the third base line. Count remains the same. As especially if how Locklear has performed in this ballgame, as I mentioned, this is going to be a big at-bat for McGreevy. Definitely needs to get him out here. Yes, AZ Cards fan. Welcome to the chat, by the way. This is the game that got postponed. This is just going to be 1 game in St. Louis, and then we head to Washington tomorrow for a road trip, or continuing the road trip, I guess. But yeah, this was the game that was postponed due to weather, and should have never been postponed. I know Paul Sewell was pretty mad about that. But here's the 0-2 pitch to Locklear. That's going to be a sweeper in the dirt. Nice take from there. And that was the 90th pitch for McGreevy. As pitch count definitely getting up there. One ball, 2 strikes. Another good take from Locklear. That's going to be a sinker that misses outside for ball 2. Yeah, as I mentioned, AZ Cards fan, welcome back. Good to see you. And here comes... Sorry. Still the same count. They just showed Ryan Walshman, but he is on deck. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Locklear. And that's going to be a rip down the third baseline, but just stays foul. Would have absolutely gotten at least 1 run in to extend the lead, but just out in front of it. But Locklear is locked in. If he gets a good one here, Who knows what he could do with it? Here's a 2-2 pitch. And that's going to be chopped past the pitcher. And Mason Wynn's just going to step on second and just beats him out at first base as well with the throw. What an amazing play by Mason Wynn at shortstop. Unlucky hit, as by the time Mason Wynn fielded it, he was right at second base, able to step on it easily and throw a strike to first base to get Locklear at first base. And that's going to be a double play to end the top of the 6th inning. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, D-backs still up 4-2, not able to extend the lead. What a great play by Mason Wynn once again. Gotta hand it to him. As McGreevy is definitely happy with his shortstop. Definitely got him out of that scary scenario. I believe it's gonna be Mason Wynn, Fermin, and Church to start the bottom of the 6th. And by the way, AZ Cards fan, if you haven't been able to catch much of this game, Tyler Locklear has torn it up this game. Ever since being called up, this has absolutely been his best game. He had a double in his first at bat, had a 2-run shot to give the D-backs a 3-2 lead. In his second at bat, so I was kind of hoping that he did something similar, as he's been looking hot this game. Not able to do anything great in that at bat, but and then after that, it was a sacrifice fly to get a Corbin Carroll and get the D-backs a 4-2 lead. But the D-backs have looked so much better against McGreevy today than they did in that first game and the series this past weekend at Chase Field. And as I mentioned, that's going to bring up Mason Wynn. He's going to take a cutter, low and outside for ball 1. And Brandon Pfaadt, if you're still around, he's looked. He had a very rough first inning, but ever since that, he has recovered and looked very good, very sharp. And he is still pitching in the bottom of the 6th. He's at 72 pitches. Love to see it for him. I know he's had such an up and down season, such a roller coaster of a season, and ever since being called up, he's just looked so much better. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Win. That's going to be a sinker that misses outside for ball 2. Mason Wynn 0 for 1. He walked in the 3rd inning. Here's the windup from Pfaadt. And it's going to be a cutter that misses low, so ball 3. Not a great start so far for Pfaadt. Let's see if we can calm him down a bit. Get a strike right here. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a nice fastball right in there on the inside part of the zone for strike 1. Nice bounce back pitch. 3-1. That's going to be grounded right back to Pfaadt, and he catches that easily, flips it to first base. And that's going to be out number 1. A great recovery from Brandon Pfaadt right there. Great reaction time to snag that one out of thin air, and just like that's going to be out number 1. That's going to bring up Jose Fermin in the 6th spot. And Fermin is not able to check swing on that outside sweeper. That's going to be strike 1. Fermin is 0 for 1. He walked in the 1st inning. Here's the next pitch. That's going to be a rip past Tim Tawa at third base. Not able to even get close to it. And that's going to be a 1-out single right there, as the Cardinals have a runner on base. Not the best location there, but There we go. Runner on first. Okay. Did not find it for some reason. And that's going to bring up Nathan Church, the center fielder, who's 0 for 2 this game. He's first pitch swinging. He's going to foul that one off left. Out of play. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be well outside, up and away on the fastball for ball 1. And Fott has just hit 80 pitches, and it looks like Brandon Garcia is going to be warming up in the bullpen. Absolutely one of my favorite relievers that we've had this season. He has just looked excellent this season. And Nathan Church is going to chop that to first base. Great job fielding that by Locklear. He's going to tag Church as he's running to first base down the line. And Fermin is able to move up to the second. But nice job by Locklear, able to get at least 1 out. And just like that, runner on second base with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Blaze Jordan, who's playing at first base today. Here comes Kaplan, the pitching coach, to have a pitcher's meeting out there. Maybe just trying to get a game plan down. Just to make sure Fott knows how to attack Blaze Jordan here. And Perdomo talking to heavy with Fott. Always love seeing Perdomo being a part of that. And as a pitcher, I'm sure Perdomo just always gives you confidence and just, lifts you up, makes you feel good about yourself a little bit. So, but here comes Blaze Jordan, as I mentioned. He's 0 for 2 so far. Big out for Fott. Here's the first pitch. And that's going to be well outside, low and away on the fastball for ball 1. And he's in Jordan. He flew out, had a ground out earlier. That's going to be a nice fastball in there for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Spot sets. Here's the pitch. Gonna just miss. Cutter low and away for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike. That's just gonna miss the lower inside. Moreno's gonna challenge it. I think he might lose this one. And unfortunately, that is just gonna be low and inside. Very close, though. Very close to clipping the zone. Not a bad challenge from Moreno, especially with 2 challenges left. But the D-backs now down to only 1 challenge. 3 balls, 1 strike. Fott sets. Big at bat right here. And here's the pitch. Big swing and miss on the cutter. Low and outside of the zone. That's going to be a full count now. It's Fott with a big chance right here. The stranded runner at second base. It's going to be Jimmy Crooks on deck. The catcher. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fott sets. Big pitch right here. Here we go. And that's going to be driven to left center. Waldschmidt's going to get under it. And just like that, Fott strands a runner at second base. And what a great job by him to maintain a 4-2 lead for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And just like that, that's going to end the 6th inning. We're going to head to the top of the 7th as Brandon Fott has just looked excellent ever since that first inning. D-backs winning 4-2. As we head to the top of the seventh. Yeah, I'm very happy with Fott's performance today. I mean, I was looking a little bit scared after that first inning, but the way he has recovered has just been phenomenal. He's even gotten into some pretty sticky situations, and he has just recovered, stranded runners when he's needed to. Um, Dude, I know. Ever since he's gotten called up again, I don't know what he fixed in AAA. Um, but he has shown that he can be a starting pitcher. You know, I know we tried moving him to the bullpen for a little bit, and I mean, if Fott, obviously isn't a starting pitcher anymore, fine, move him to the bullpen. But I'm just so glad we were able to fix him, or his time in AAA was able to help him a lot. And yeah, he has looked excellent, way better than he looked during the start of the season, where it's very disappointing results from him. But yeah, I want to say this is his third start, I think, right? Since being called up. And all three starts has just looked excellent. And it looks like that is going to be the last inning for Brandon Pfaadt. He's getting high fives in the dugout. He went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, 2 earned runs, and only struck out one batter, but he got outs when he needed to, and that's why the Cardinals only have 2 runs in this ball game. Here comes Ryan Waldschmidt to start the top of the 7th inning. McGreevy is still in the game, though, at 93 pitches. And that's going to be a first pitch. Almost nails Waldschmidt in the head. He has to dive out of that one. That's going to be ball one. It's going to be interesting to see how far McGreevy goes in this inning. I doubt he finishes it. He is very close to 100 pitches. It's going to be 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be driven to center, but right at Nathan Church, unfortunately. And that's going to be an easy catch for him. Doesn't have to move too far for the first out. Not a bad rip by Waldschmidt. And just like that, the Cardinals are only going to let McGreevy go one batter into this inning. And just like that, he's going to be taken out. Looks like Brew Ehil. Do not know how to pronounce that. Is going to be coming in to relieve McGreevy as we go into a commercial break. It's going to bring out the top of the D-backs lineup with Corbin Carroll and Perdomo to follow him. I do want to go back to Brandon Garcia if he does end up coming in for Pfaadt. Absolutely one of my favorite relievers this year for Arizona. He has just looked excellent in leverage situations. Has not given up a lot of runs. Obviously a lefty, which is always nice to have in your lineup. Jordan Crooks, Weatherholt, and Walker coming up. 2 lefties to start the inning when we head to the bottom of the 7th. Definitely a great matchup for Brandon Garcia, so hopefully it pays off. Yeah, it's definitely getting late into this ball game, so hoping the D-backs can throw up some more zeros. And just like that, looks like we're going to be coming out of the commercial break very soon. Want to see the stats for this reliever from St. Louis. Not really too familiar with him. I know we saw Stanek. I think Soriano. I wasn't able to stream the second game of that series, so maybe this is where this guy comes in the pitch. But here comes Justin Bruijo, who has a 3.59 ERA, 0-0 on the year. He's pitching 43 games, so definitely been using him a lot. He is a left-hander, so trying to see if he's effective against Corbin Carroll. That's going to be a sweeper that lands right down the middle for strike one. I'm not going to lie. As much as I like Seawald, that's going to be ball one. Just missed. I thought Crooks challenged that for a second, but that's going to be a ball one that just misses the inside of the zone. I'm going to get back to you. Don't worry. These pitches are just firing fast. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's going to be a swing and miss on the sinker for strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Corbin Carroll. 1 out. Carroll's 1 for 3 today. That's going to be a sweeper well outside of the zone for the second ball. Count is even at 2-2. As I mentioned, Perdomo waiting on deck. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Going to be fouled away. Count remains the same. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a swing and a miss on the inside sinker. Corbin Carroll not able to get a piece of that. That's going to be out number 2 on the strikeout. But back to you, AZ Cards fan. Yeah. I mean, as much as I like Seawald too, and how good his ratio for saves and opportunities has been, Garcia could absolutely be a closer too. He has looked that good, that dominant. And here comes Perdomo. That's going to be an outside sweeper for ball one. I am interested to see though where Justin Martinez I think he is going to come back this year, right? And when he does, what is I cannot talk. What is that role going to look like when he comes back? And that's going to be strike number 1 on the sweeper for a 1-1 count. You know, is Martinez just going to go back to that closer role? Are we going to ease him back in and just see how he does initially before we do anything? Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to left field. Newpart's going to have to run over a bit, but he is going to get under that 4 out number 3, and that's going to end at the top of the 7th. As the reliever for St. Louis, Bruijo does a great job of getting the rest of the 2 outs. And we are now going to head to the bottom of the 7th inning with the D-backs still leading 4-2. Here comes Brandon Garcia. Because, yeah, going back to Justin Martinez, obviously a lot of it is going to have to do with, is he going to be the same pitcher that he was, you know, before he got injured? Because he was so dominant. Honestly, one of our best pitchers that we've developed. But when he first started with the team, but did this injury kind of change what he's going to look like? You know, and especially if Seawald is still effective. I know he's looked a little iffy recently, but if Seawald is still effective, you know, what do we do with Seawald? Because Seawald, I'm sure you've noticed, he is not that great in non-save opportunities. So I don't know what you do with Seawald if you replace him, or if you go a different direction closer-wise, you know? But as I mentioned, it is going to be Jimmy Crooks, JJ Weatherholt, and Jordan Walker to start the bottom of the 7th. 2 lefties in Crooks and Weatherholt, so hopefully Garcia can do well against that matchup. Those matchups. Yeah, man, it's a shame how much our pitching has been injured. You got him, AJ Puck, obviously Corbin Burns in terms of the starting rotation. I've heard Soroka is close to coming back. Obviously he's been one of our best starting pitchers this year. So I'm hoping Soroka can come back and be as effective as he once was before the injury. But looking at Brandon Garcia, look at the kid. 1.75 ERA this year, as he has been awesome this season. In 31 games, he has just been so dominant. And there's actually going to be a pinch hitter for Crooks. They're going to bring in Velasquez. Hope I said that right. The right-hander, the right-handed batter. And it's not going to be a lefty against Garcia. It's going to be a first pitch ball to Velasquez. That's going to be chopped foul for the next pitch. Strike one, 1-1, strike the count. Is Marmol the manager just trying to play matchups here? Garcia sets. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be a nice sweeper in there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's going to be a swing and miss on the sweeper well inside. But Velasquez cannot lay off, and that was just filthy. And that's going to be out number 1 on the strikeout. That was a great pitch right there. And first pitch swinging for JJ Weatherhill. Perdoma's going to field that cleanly. That was a slow chopper to him. But nonetheless, able to fire to first and get out number 2. What a great start so far for Brandon Garcia. And that is going to bring Jordan Walker in the 2-hole. With 2 outs already for this St. Louis offense. And that's going to just miss the top corner of the zone for ball 1. Garcia sets to Walker. Here's the pitch. That's going to be called strike on the inside cutter. Walker's going to challenge it. I think he may just win this one. And Walker is going to win that one. It was just inside. That's going to be ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes. Great pitch right there on the cutter. That's going to be strike number 1. And that's going to be a rip to right center. Vargas not in a good position to play that. And that's going to be a 2-out base knock for Jordan Walker. Runner on first base with 2 outs. And that's now going to bring up Alec Burleson. And even though you do have Burleson up, who's 2 for 3, at least you have a left-handed pitcher to go against him. Hopefully that pays off. Here's the first pitch to Burleson. That's going to be a big swing and a miss on the sweeper. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. And that's going to be in the dirt, but he somehow gets a piece of that. It's going to be chopped to second base. Vargas fires to first base. And what a great job by Brandon Garcia. Runner gets on base, but nonetheless able to get out of it. And that's going to be the end of the 7th inning. As the D-backs still have a 4-2 lead. We head to the top of the 8th. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Bathroom break. No way. Okay. I thought Moreno just went yard for a second. He just hit a leadoff double. Still great nonetheless. I walked back into a replay of Moreno driving when I was like, did he just hit one now while I was keen? Okay. It's gonna be Max Kepler up. He has an even count, 1-1. And any kind of insurance runs right here, especially against the Cardinals, I would be all for that, man. And that's going to be grounded right back to the pitcher. He has to look back Moreno. Throws at the first base. And that's going to be out number 1. Runner still at second base is got a little sketchy for a sec, but great job by Moreno to get back to second. Didn't have the best read on it, but that's going to bring up Adrian Del Castillo. But a great rip earlier. I believe it had a double. That's gonna go opposite field through past Mason Wynn. And they're gonna send Gabriel Moreno home. What a great job by ADC right there. And that's gonna be a RBI single to make it a 5-2 D-backs lead. Hits it right through the hole, gets right past Mason Wynn, no chance at that. And great display of hitting by ADC right there. As the D-backs offense just continues to roll. That's going to be it for Bruel. It looks like they're going to bring in Savanson to relieve him as we go to a commercial break. All right, it's going to bring up Tim Tawa, who's going against Savanson. I think I'm saying that right. Maybe a first pitch ball to him. He has a 6.31 ERA through 38 games, so hasn't looked the best. That's going to be a sweeper that just clips the top of the zone for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tawa. See if we can keep it going. That's going to miss the glove of... Who came in for Crooks? I didn't quite see. Pajes? Yeah, it was Pajes. Just misses the glove of Pajes, and ADC is going to move up to second base. Now we have another runner in scoring position. Going to be a 2-1 count. That's going to be a swing and miss on the cutter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Maybe now full count. That's how I'm making him work. First battery's facing. Full count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 4. Great job by Tawa. And there's now runners on first and second with 1 out. And that's going to bring up Eldemaro Vargas in the 7th spot. He's 1 for 3 so far. With a great opportunity to get some insurance runs in the top of the 8th inning. 1 out away. Here's the first pitch. He's first pitch swinging, and that's going to get over the glove of Fermin. They're going to hold ADC at third base, but just like that, the bases are loaded with 1 out. And what a great first pitch swing from Vargas, as the D-backs are just on fire right now. Bases loaded with 1 out. Gotta get at least 1 run here. All right, here comes Tyler Locklear. And if there's anybody you want in this position today, it's him, as he has destroyed the ball today. He's 2 for 3. He's first pitch swinging, and that's going to be right up the middle for a base hit. 1 runner score. They're going to hold Tawa at third base. And just like that, Locklear maintains his excellent performance today. He is 3 for 4 with another RBI, as they cannot get this man out. He has a 2-run shot. He has a double. He has a single. A triple short of the cycle, and what a day for the man ever since being called from AAA. You definitely want to see that out of him, as it's now 6-2 with the bases loaded and still 1 out. And here comes Nolan Arenado. He's going to pinch hit for Ryan Waldschmidt. D-backs got the bases loaded, and Tyler Locklear hit a base knock, as he's now 3 for 4. And the D-backs still have a chance to do more damage of 1 out. And Nolan Arenado is going to pinch hit for Waldschmidt. That's going to be an inside sinker for ball 2. So ADC, Tawa, Vargas just did a great job of getting on base. Stringing together some walks and hits. And then Locklear just got 1 run in on a nice hit. And now Arenado's up ahead 2-1, trying to do some more damage for this team. And Sivanson, the relief pitcher for the Cardinals, is just not looking good, as that ERA is just kind of making it to where numbers do not lie. Here's a 2-1 pitch, and that's going to be a big hack at the high sweeper. Arenado's not able to get a piece of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I'm so sorry, Tyler Locklear. I was not familiar with your game, my friend. He is absolutely going to be in my highlight video when I get it up later today or tomorrow. He will be the focal point. It's going to be another 2 ball, 2 strike count coming up, as Arenado fouls that one off. Sivanson sets, here's the pitch, and that's going to be well outside for ball 3, as Arenado has worked a full count. And Savanson is in danger of walking in a run as Corbin Carroll awaits on deck to get the top of the lineup started once again for these D-backs. As it has been all Arizona these past few innings. Three balls, two strikes. Big pitch right here for Savanson. Here we go. And that's going to be a shot opposite fielder right field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. And that's going to be another run that comes in. They're going to hold Vargas at third base. And once again, it's still going to be bases loaded with one out. And it's now going to be 7-2 after the RBI single from Nolan Arenado. And this D-backs offense just keeps rolling. What a great offensive showing from these D-backs. I mean, obviously, you know, when you're playing the A's, it may not be that impressive, especially with their bullpen to put up 15 runs. But now with McGreevy on the mound today, and a bit better Cardinals pitching, putting up 7 runs against his team. Love to see that. And it's going to bring up Corbin Carroll, who had a triple in the 5th inning. He's up ahead 1-0 in the count, looking to do some more damage. That's going to be fouled back for strike 1. And now Juan Murillo, he's going to be warming up in the D-backs bullpen, looking to come in the bottom of the 8th. 1-1 count to Corbin. Here's the pitch. That's going to be just in there at the top of the zone with that sinker for strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Here we go. That's going to be fouled off. Count remains the same. Count remains the same once again. Bases loaded. 1 out. Here's the pitch. And Corbin's just able to check his swing. As I thought Pajes might have challenged that high strike, but looks like it just missed it. That's going to be ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Corbin. That's going to miss upstairs well high to make it a full count. And Savanson is just not looking sharp at all this inning. And if you're a St. Louis fan, you are just hoping that he can strike out Corbin right here. Carroll's going to call time to break up any sort of rhythm he has. And Corbin Carroll, just a big chance to break this game wide open, make this game out of reach. Full count, here's the pitch. And that's going to be fouled back as Corbin's battling. As with this St. Louis lineup, especially the 2-3 hitters, actually 1-2-3 hitters, definitely want to get as many runs as you can. Here's the full count pitch, and that's going to be a rip. But unfortunately, it is foul. That looked very good off the bat. And once again, we will repeat the count, full count, as that looked very good off the bat, but just in front of it. This is going to be the 9th pitch in this at bat, so Corbin Carroll definitely making Savanson work. Gotta imagine this could be his last one. And another foul pitch that's to the backstop this time. We're going to be looking at the 10th pitch now. As Savanson's about to throw his 25th pitch. He sets. Big pitch right here. Here we go. And that's going to be blown out to left field. Very deep, and that's definitely going to bring in a run, I would think. And here comes Vargas hustling in home. And a nice job by Corbin Carroll to bring in another run. That's going to be a sacrifice fly to make it 8-2 in the bottom of the 8th. I'm sorry, top of the 8th. as the D-backs are just doing a great job of capitalizing with runners on base, and something they have been struggling with. Um, a little bit before the All-Star break, definitely had a lot of runners stranded on base, so you'd love to see that out of this D-backs offense. And that's going to bring up Geraldo Perdomo, the last chance with 2 outs to potentially bring in some more runs. He's going to be ahead 1-0 in the count. As it's going to be 2 outs with runners on first and second. That's going to be a cutter that misses upstairs for ball 2. Looks like Taylor Clark is also going to be warming up in the bullpen. They may go to him instead. And that's going to be ball 3 as the cutter misses well inside. As Perdomo has a chance to make it bases loaded once again if he can get on board right here. Get on base. 3 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a sinker. Just graces the inside part of the zone for strike 1. This is going to be the 30th pitch for Savanson, so you got to imagine he is done soon. Here's the pitch. And that's going to miss the top of the zone. That's going to be ball 4 as Perdomo makes it bases loaded again. He draws another walk in this ball game. Has some very quality at-bats for him today. And that's going to be bases loaded. 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Gabriel Moreno. And they're going to leave Savanson in the game. I don't know if they're throwing in the towel, but this is not how you come back in this game, potentially giving up even more runs. And that's going to be strike 1 for Gabriel Moreno. He's down 0-1 with 2 outs, bases loaded. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a shot to right field. Another opposite field hit for this D-backs offense, as they've been going to right field all day today. And that's going to be 9-2 as this D-backs offense is rolling in the top of the 8th inning. As especially with the hottest hitter in this D-backs lineup as of late, you would think they would take out Savanson, and they don't. And it's going to come back to haunt them. It is now 9-2. Bases still loaded with 2 outs. What a line drive from Gabriel Moreno right there. And Savanton's still going to stay in the game. That's going to be ball 1 to Max Kepler. As if you're a St. Louis fan, especially watching the game at Busch Stadium, you've got to be rolling your eyes at this decision to keep Savanson in the game. That's going to be fouled out of play. It's going to be 1 ball, 1 strike. And Max Kepler, especially with him slugging the ball as of late, has a chance to do a lot of damage here. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be upstairs for ball 2 on the sinker. And Savanson is now at 35 pitches. When is enough going to be enough for him? There's a 2-1 pitch. Nice pitch from him, though, there. That's going to just grace the outside zone for strike 2 on the cutter. Savanson now has a chance to get out of this inning. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And that's going to be popped up. Fermin has a chance in foul territory, and that's going to be out number 3. As finally Savanson is able to get out of this inning, as the D-backs score 5 runs to make it a 9-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. D-backs with 13 hits this game as the offense continues to come alive after the great game they had yesterday against the A's. Great showing by this D-backs offense as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And I believe now with this lead, we're probably going to be seeing Taylor Clark. which is my guess as to why they started warming him up after they were warming up Juan Murillo. As the Cardinals now have 2 chances to put up 7 runs. Definitely a tall task for them. Not sure who they have leading off this inning, but we'll see. Alright, I'm getting hungry, so definitely hoping this game ends pretty soon. And as I mentioned, looks like Taylor Clark is coming into this game. And 2.40 ERA has just been also one of the more dominant D-backs pitchers this season. And here's the first pitch to Lars Nootbaar, who will be leading off the bottom of the 8th. That's a first pitch strike. Looks like Tim Tawa is going to go to center. Arenado is going to go to third base. Some defensive changes for the D-backs. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field. Tawa did not get the best jump on it. As at first started going in, had to kind of drift back a little bit, but able to corral it for out number 1. Kind of scared me for a second, but and just like that, one down, here comes Mason Wynn, who is 0 for 2. That's going to miss upstairs on the cutter, ball 1. And that slider's also going to miss upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be hit to right field. Corbin Carroll is going to have a play on that. It just has to fight the sun a bit. And that's going to be out number 2. Nice inning so far for Taylor Clark. That's going to bring up Jose Fermin. He's 1 for 2. That's going to be a first pitch swing from him. He pops that one up right to Tyler Locklear at first. And just like that, Taylor Clark gets out of that inning with ease. Very quick inning. Love to see that. And we're going to head to the top of the 9th inning. D-backs still up 9-2. Cardinals definitely made that very easy for Clark right there. I know Taylor Clark has been dominant this season, but when you're swinging at the first pitch like that, especially on that Fermin one, you're just giving it to the pitcher. And just like that, the Cardinals are down to their last 3 outs. Looking to the bottom of the 9th. As I'm not really worried about what the D-backs do right here. The bottom of the 9th is going to have Nathan Church, Blaze Jordan, and Jimmy Crooks. The last 3 hitters of the lineup, so Hopefully we can just mow those guys down. Not have to worry about the top of the lineup. Get out of St. Louis with a win. That'd be huge. Because I'm going to be honest, the Nationals, especially that lineup, they can hit the ball well. So I'm not really sure how that series is going to go well. How well that series is going to go. If our starting pitching can do pretty good, I think we'll be okay. But when those Nationals, when they can hit, they can come back from any lead too. Like, so should be a very fun series though. I will say that. And just an update on the hits. D-backs have 13 hits. Cardinals have 8. No errors in this game for both squads. As I swear, man, ever since that series in LA, this D-backs offense it just woke up, man. I don't know what happened, but I'm not complaining. I know D-backs fans are not complaining. They have looked excellent ever since that series. And here comes Grisefko. He's going to go against Del Castillo in the top of the ninth. I think I pronounced that right. Going to be ball 1 on the fastball up top. And Grisefko, 3.17 ERA, 6-1 this year through 41 games. The hard throwing right-hander. Going to be outside for another ball 2. Two balls, no strikes. That's going to be ball 3 right out the gate for Grisefko, so not a great start. Similar to Savanson last inning. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And just hit the lower corner of the zone for 3-1 count now. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Nice pitch from Grisefko. Changeup. Makes Del Castillo swing and miss at that one. It's going to be a full count now. Three balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be another space hit for Del Castillo. He has looked excellent today. As that was another hard hit line drive into right field. Past the first baseman and second baseman. And that's going to be a leadoff base hit to start another D-backs inning. That's going to bring up Tim Tawa, who's 1 for 2 today. He's going to check swing. That one's going to foul off the bat. It's going to be 0-1. Oh, 1 count. Here's the pitch. Going to be fouled down the line. Pavia just got released by the Ravens. Oh my gosh, this dude. I don't know why he didn't just go to the... Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that's going to be in there for ball 1. Great take by Tawa. I mean, I get coming out of college, you want to challenge yourself, and obviously the goal is to go to the NFL, but really, realistically, he is not an NFL quarterback. I mean, I think the UFL would be a much better place. Start there and see what you can do. And that's going to be a big swing and miss on the low change. It's going to be out number 1. That sucks for him, though, especially to happen not even the like preseason hasn't even started. I mean, I'm sure now he's going to try for the UFL. I really hope for his sake he doesn't try to make it on another NFL team, but And that's going to miss low for a low fastball, ball one. Feel bad for him, though. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a very low strike. What are we doing? Oh, come on now. It's going to be 1 ball, 1 strike. I think if the D-backs were not winning 9-2, Vargas definitely would have challenged that, but... one. That's going to be in the dirt on the changeup for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike. Gracefko sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be way upstairs on the changeup for ball 3. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Locklear's on deck. Has a chance for the cycle. And that's going to be ripped past JJ Weatherhill. He tried diving for that, and that's going to get right past his glove. Another hit in the right field for this team as Jordan Walker has been busy down there. It's now going to be runners on first and second with 1 out. As here comes Locklear. As he is a triple short of the cycle. With his speed, it's going to take one absolutely deep into the gap. But let's see. Here's the first pitch to Locklear. Yeah, he needs a triple. That's going to be strike 1. Slider hits the top of the zone. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Ooh. That was a good pitch for him to do it on. Just a bit late on it, though. As he fouls that one back, it's going to be no balls, 2 strikes. His Locklear is down early. Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely going to take the perfect hit right here for it to happen. No balls, 2 strikes. Gracefko sets. Here's the pitch. Gonna foul that one off as well. And it looks like the last cycle, 2012, Aaron Hill hits that against Milwaukee. So it's definitely been a while. 0-2 pitch. Here he comes. And somehow Locklear going to get a piece of that as he fouls that one off as well. His Locklear obviously very aggressive in this at-bat, just trying to get any piece of contact here to give him a chance. No balls, 2 strikes to Locklear. Gracefko sets. Here's the pitch. And Locklear's just able to check his swing. Slider in the dirt's going to be ball 1. Because no matter what happens in this at-bat, Locklear 3 for 4. Just an excellent performance from him today. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a big swing and miss on the slider. Just looking for any ball to hit, honestly. Can't discredit him on that much. And that's going to be strike 3 on the slider, swing and miss. That's going to be out number 2. That's going to bring up Nolan Arenado. Runners on first and second, still with 2 outs. And that's going to be strike 1 for Arenado. Yeah, it was a pretty filthy slider from Gracefko. Definitely a hard pitch to hit. Not anywhere close to the zone, but like the broadcasters are saying, it's just You definitely want to try to get a piece on anything. It doesn't matter where the pitch is, And that's going to be strike 2 to Arenado. He's down early in this count. And no balls, 2 strikes to Arenado. Chance to get even more insurance runs. Especially after his last at bat, pinch hitting, came in with an RBI single, so has an opportunity to do it again. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled back. Count remains the same. And D-backs slowly hunting down those Phillies for the second wild card spot. Only 2.5 games back. Could make it closer if a win today. Here's the next pitch. And that's going to be another foul to the backstop. Or out of play, I should say. No balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be a big swing. Somehow I was able to check his swing. Surprised I didn't challenge that. But it's going to be ball 1. Yeah, so the Diamondbacks, they actually have the 3rd spot right now. They are a half game in front of the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a half game back behind us for the 3rd spot. And that's going to be a shot into left field. Great line drive hit. They're going to send Adrian Del Castillo, and that's going to be a 10-2 lead for the D-backs. As the D-backs offense cannot be stopped, no matter which reliever comes in, as the D-backs tack another run on the board. It's going to be 10-2 in the top of the 9th. Here comes Corbin Carroll, the top of the line, runner on first and second with 2 outs. But yeah, to answer your question, right now they have the third spot locked right now. So the Cardinals winning today would be not great. But Carroll's going to be down 0-1. Here's the next pitch. That's going to be in the dirt, ball 1. 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 1-hopper to second. They throw it at the second for the quick out. And that's going to be the 3rd out as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Cardinals down 8 runs. As the D-backs are looking to finish this one off very easily. Not a big fan, though, of that at bat. I swear I could hear Cardinals fans chanting in the background, "We hate Corbin." For what? What has Corbin Carroll done to the St. Louis fan base or team? Like, what? I was very surprised when I heard that chant. I did not like that, but I guess if you're down 10-2, you're gonna come up with stupid stuff like that, I guess. And the D-backs offense has been hitting so well this game. It's been so hard to remember who's up next for the Cardinals. I think I did mention it when the bottom of the 8th inning ended. Okay, it's gonna. I think it was 7, 8, 9. Nathan Church, Blaze Jordan, and Jimmy Crooks. I don't know, honestly. I don't. Corbin literally did nothing. He's 1 for 4 today. I mean, absolutely one of the most humblest players on this D-backs team. I can't really think of another word that rhymes with hate that I could have been mistaken it for, but I mean, it wasn't like a loud chant. It was, you could tell it was just one guy doing it, but still like very weird. But the D-backs 16 hits today offensively as they just keep it rolling after yesterday's big game yesterday too. And that is going to bring in Ryan Thompson, looking to close this out very easily. As the D-backs are 3 outs away from claiming this game in St. Louis. And Church is going to try laying down a bunt. Just looking to get anything started. That's going to be strike 1, though. Nathan Church 0 for 3 today. And that's going to be chopped. Finds a hole through the second base side. And it goes into right field for a base hit as Church is aboard now for his first hit of the game. And that's going to bring up Blaze Jordan, who started at first base today. That's going to be a first pitch ball as a sinker. Stays well inside. Blaze Jordan also 0 for 3, looking to get his first hit like his teammate just did. That's going to be a big swing and a miss on the outside sinker, strike 1. That's going to be a fly ball to center. Might drop, but Perdomo runs out there just to get it in time. And that's going to be the first out of the bottom of the 9th. Thought it might fall for a base hit, but Perdomo does a good job of getting over there. That's going to be out number 1. 1 out with a runner on first base. And here comes Pedro Pajes, who came in for Jimmy Crooks after Velasquez pinch hitted for Crooks earlier in the game, and it's now going to be Pajes who's up to bat. Yeah, that's going to be a first pitch strike on the sinker. Pajes batting .209 this year. Not been a very effective hitter. That's going to be a swing and a miss as Pajes is down early 0-2. Great sinker from Thompson. No balls, 2 strikes to Pajes. Thompson sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be chopped off his foot for a foul ball. Once again, no balls, 2 strikes. We'll do the count again. Here's the pitch. That's going to be well outside on the slider. Pajes able to check his swing for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes. That's going to be grounded down the third baseline for another foul ball as Pajes protecting at the plate. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be popped up. And Moreno's going to have a play at it. Throws the mask off. Doesn't have to move far. And that's going to be out number 2. What a great job by Moreno to get under that. And that's going to be out number 2 for a runner on first base. The Cardinals are down to their final out. And that's going to bring up JJ Weatherholt, the leadoff hitter for the Cardinals. JJ Weatherholt 1 for 4 in this game. Had a single in the first inning, but hasn't done much since then. Here's the first pitch. Gonna be right down the middle on the slider for strike 1. 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Gonna be in the dirt on the sinker. Ball 1. One ball, one strike. Thompson sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a big swing and a miss on the sinker, as that's in there for strike 2. And the Cardinals are down to their final strike. Weatherhold just looking to stay alive or put it in play. Thompson sets 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be well inside. Ball 2. Good take by Weatherholt. Thompson sets. Here's a big pitch. And that's going to be grounded past the third baseman. As because of where Arenado was playing, just not a chance at all to get there. Just right through the hole, the third base hole. And that's going to be an opposite field hit as Weatherhold slaps out to left field. It's now going to be runners on first and second with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Jordan Walker. And actually, I'm sorry, they're going to pinch hit for Jordan Walker. Very surprising is, I get it, you want a lefty up against Ryan Thompson, but it's Jordan Walker. Like, okay. But that's going to bring up Torres. That's going to be a first pitch strike. Sinker clips the inside part of the zone. As Cardinals just looking to stay alive any way they can. Brian Torres, 203 on the year through 34 games. And that's going to be strike 2, I believe. Very weird pitch. Looks like it may have hit him for a second, but I think it just fouled off so awkwardly. Yeah, just a weird foul ball. And Thompson's going to be ahead early, 0-2. As once again, Cardinals down to their final strike. Let's see what Brian Torres can do with the bat. Yeah, I guess so, AZ Cards fan. I am definitely puzzled too. I mean, sure Cardinals fans are definitely not happy, but here's the 0-2 pitch. That's going to be in the dirt. Gets away from Moreno to the right side, well away from him. And that's going to be an easy advancement for both runners. And it's now runners on second and third with 2 outs. And D-backs very fortunate to get so many insurance runs. As if the lead was any closer. It could be kind of scary right now, actually. But nonetheless, it's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's going to be fouled. As Torres stays alive somehow. As Thompson's at 20 pitches. Kind of been a longer inning than Thompson was probably hoping for today, but 1 ball, 2 strikes. Thompson sets. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be another foul ball. As Torres is just battling up there. Is the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that's going to be a base hit into right field. 1 run is for sure going to score. And they're going to send Weatherholt. And that's going to be a 2-run knock from Brian Torres to give the Cardinals some life here. Absolutely not how you wanted the inning go if you're Ryan Thompson. As the Cardinals somehow bring 2 runs in. And still with 2 outs, it's going to be a runner on first base. As in now, the Cardinals are down 6 runs. Yeah, now I'm very glad the D-backs scored so many runs today. Especially if this is happening. And that's going to be a first pitch swing from Alec Burleson. That's going to get into right field. Brian Torres is going to stop at third base, but it's now going to be runners on second and third with 2 outs. As Alec Burleson, first pitch swinging and drives that into right field with an easy double. As now the Cardinals are on a roll. And sorry, still 10-4. But a chance to make this very interesting, actually. And if Thompson can't get this next batter out, which is going to be Lars Nootbaar, especially being a left-handed hitter, this is a big at-bat. I definitely think this is his last at-bat no matter what. Paul Sewald's actually going to be warming up in case Thompson can't get this next batter out. Big back-to-back hits for the Cardinals in the 2 and 3 spots here. Sorry. Yeah, 2 and 3 spots, yeah. And as I mentioned, that's going to bring up the left-handed hitter Lars Nootbaar, who's 1 for 4. With a chance to bring this lead even closer for the Cardinals. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. And here's the first pitch. That's going to just clip the bottom of the zone for strike one. Great bounce back pitch from Thompson there on the sinker. It's going to be 0-1 the count. No balls, 1 strike. Thompson sets. And that's going to be driven to right center. And that's going to get down for a base hit. As both runners are going to come in to score, it's going to be a 10-6 ball game. As Nootbaar somehow gets it to drop into right center in between the right fielder and center fielder. And that's going to be a 2-run single for Lars Nootbaar late in this ball game as the Cardinals are not giving up. Okay, let's take Thompson out. It's getting way too scary. I don't care about Thompson's confidence at this point. It's already shot. And unfortunately, they are going to stick with Thompson for another batter. As it's going to be a runner on first base with 2 outs still, 10-6. And Thompson is going to throw a first pitch strike. Luckily, as they win that challenge, as the Cardinals, I guess, as the Cardinals lose that challenge. Jeez, man, that's going to be a slider misses outside for ball 1. Yeah, I mean, even if Thompson gets out of this, I agree. He has given up 4 straight runs. Like, it doesn't matter. His confidence is already not good. And this is going to be the 28th pitch of the ball game. And that slider misses outside for a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Thompson is almost at 30 pitches. Here's a 2-1 pitch. And that's going to be grounded right to Vargas. Easy stop for him. Throws the first. And luckily, Thompson finally gets the third out as there's no more damage as the D-backs win a 10-6 ball game. What a great offensive showing. Got very scary, actually. Way scarier than it should have been in that last inning in terms of the bottom of the ninth hitting from the Cardinals as they bring in 4 straight runs to bring it close. But nonetheless, because of the D-backs offensive showing, still not enough from the Cardinals to bring it back. And just like that, the D-backs take the 10-6 win. As the D-backs only here for 1 game to make it the game that got postponed. But nonetheless, what a huge game. As we head to Washington tomorrow to start another series on the road. As this road trip really begins in Washington. Oh my gosh, that got... I mean, I get it, you just want Ryan Thompson to finish it, but it gets to a point where it's like, okay, what are we doing here? And even though it took, almost 30 pitches for Ryan Thompson, and he gives up 4 runs, still glad he got out of it. But absolutely, Ryan Thompson is not going to be available tomorrow. I think we all can agree there. With that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in once again. Thank you, AZ Cards fan. I appreciate you for checking in, coming back in for another stream. Appreciate you. Great conversations once again. DC Purcell, I think you left. I'm not sure if you're still in the stream, but I appreciate the conversations as well. I'm sure you're glad the D-backs won today. I know you had money on them, so glad we got the win for you today as well. I will say, AZ Cards fan, I actually am not going to be live tomorrow. I'm going to be taking a day off. Tomorrow's game just not does not mesh well with my schedule tomorrow. So, um, most likely I will not be streaming tomorrow. But the next two games in Washington after tomorrow, I will be streaming. So I apologize for no stream tomorrow, but I still very much appreciate you for trying to make it, no matter what tomorrow. But I won't be live tomorrow, but the next two games afterwards, I will definitely be live. Um, as much as I want to stream, every single game live, um, there are just going to be some games that just don't mesh well if I have something else going on in the day. Um, but yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. Um, to sorry, I can't even think. That ninth inning kind of just scrambled my brain, but appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into today's game. And yeah, I will be back most likely Saturday afternoon. I think it's a 105, 405 Eastern start for that game. And I will still be watching the D-backs game. Um, just not able to stream it tomorrow. But once again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in today. That's gonna do it for me today. Another awesome stream, another great offensive showing for the D-backs, which makes calling the games very fun. So definitely appreciate that. Tyler Locklear 3 for 5 today, almost goes for the cycle. Love to see it for him after being recently called up. But that's gonna do it for me today. Appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into the stream. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care, stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. Take care. Especially you two, you Arizona Cardinals fan. Hope you have a great day today. Take care, my